Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Unlocked live stream. We have today with us a guest who is speaking on a topic that we get asked all the time. You know, we have our 90-day challenge to buy your first rental. We have people who are like so eager to get started buying real estate. And the question that always comes up is my credit good enough? Am I ready to start buying? What can I do to improve my credit so I can put myself in a position to start investing in real estate? So we have Miss Shaundretta Boykins with us today, and I'm going to let her introduce herself and kind of let you tell our audience what you do and how you help people.
Thank you. Thanks, Jesse, for the opportunity to be here. Short and sweet. My name is Shaundretta Boykins. I've been in the education, credit restoration business for running my own business for the last 13 years. I've been in financial services for a total of 26 years. And so I have spent those years helping thousands of people restore their credit, because the truth of the matter is nobody can restore your credit. You have to do that. But I focus on the education piece of it. So I do a lot of credit education, which leads to credit restoration if you are coachable and follow the system that I prescribe for you. So
I love
a
it.
lot of people go the Google route. Google is full of lies and outdated information. You need a trusted professional who stays on top of their game in order to be able to help you fix your credit. Thanks, Jesse.
One thing I'm already hearing that I want to touch on is you're saying only you can do it. But we see
Only the
companies out
person.
there who are like, come to us, we'll repair your credit. So
It's impossible.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
So
people think
only
that having derogatory items removed from your credit report is credit repair. But that's one side of the house, because you have to replace that old bad debt with new good debt. And so nobody can add something to your credit report except you. You have to be the applicant. You have to be the person that does it. So in my program, not only do I write your dispute letters and do all of that fun work, I also create a custom made credit score improvement plan for you. I have a suite of products and a suite of programs that people can take advantage of, low to no cost, but that are going to add positive trade lines and positive history to their credit reports in order to be able to boost their scores. Now, there's two things in play with credit. You have a credit report, you have a credit score. There are some lenders who are score driven. Yes,
okay.
and there are some lenders that are report driven. You need to know what the pain point is for the lender that you're borrowing from. So I'll
So
give
would
you
I
a
just
quick.
ask that? Like as a borrower, would I just say, what are you looking for of these two
you
options?
you would, but the person who is taking your application or answering the phone will not know. They're going to have to
They
check
don't
with
know.
the underwriter, because if you call and say, hey, are you a score driven lender or a report driven lender, they have no clue what that means.
Score driven report.
So
Okay.
you have to
I'm
ask those.
learning.
Yes, score driven or report driven. Yes. So you have to ask those questions, and you have to tell them. I call them and say, listen, you're not going to know the answer to this question. So get underwriting on the phone and ask them if they're report driven or score driven. Because I have people who have bankruptcies on their credit reports. I was one, but I had a 727 as a minimum score. And so when I called the credit card company, I asked them, are you score driven or report driven? They had no clue. When I explained to them what that meant, they explained that to the underwriter, came back to the call. In 3 seconds, I was approved. So, but I knew that I had this bankruptcy, but there are some lenders, if they see a bankruptcy, regardless of what your score is, they're still going to tell you no. But there's some
Okay.
people who are simply looking at your score, not your report. And based on that, I knew that my score was the bomb. So I just said, go ahead and run my credit. And they did. And I was approved.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. That is something that I just learned. Yeah. So thank you so much. And then
For sure.
what are the factors that would address or affect your report or affect your score?
Yeah.
Because you
So
mentioned some derogatory, some length of credit. Like what are they looking for to calculate your score?
sure, they're going to do it by 5 measures. Now there are two major reporting systems. One is FICO, which is well known. Everybody knows it. Everybody uses it. About 10% of lenders use your Vantage score, which in essence is your Credit Karma score. That's what people reference it. Credit Karma, Credit Wise, all of those use your Vantage score. Mainstream lenders are going to use your FICO score. So with the FICO scoring model, 35% of your credit score is going to be your payment history. So the absolute worst thing you can do to your credit is pay a bill 30 days or more late. Absolute worst thing.
Okay.
30% of your score is your utilization. So you want to keep those. If you Google right now and say, what utilization should I have for my credit cards, it's going to tell you 30%. The actual utilization you should have is not more than 9%, not more than
Interesting.
9% of the total limit. And here's why. I'm going to break this down really quick so you got to catch it.
I love it.
There's excellent credit, good credit, fair credit, poor credit, and very poor credit. Inside of those measurements, 35%, 30% utilization, 15% average length of time you've been in the credit profile, 10% is new credit, and the other 10% is your credit mix. That's what makes up the 100% of your credit score. So, inside of each of those, there's a measurement as well: excellent, good, fair, poor, very poor. So I'll tell you how important payment history is. If you pay 100% of your bills on time, you have excellent credit. If you pay in that category,
Okay.
if you pay your bills 99% of the time, you have good credit. If you pay your bills 98% of the time, you have fair credit.
Oh,
If you pay
wow.
your bills on time 97% of the time, you have poor credit. Now, when you look at a grading scale in school, you say, if I do anything 97% of the time, I'm
That's an A
pretty good.
plus.
That's
Yeah.
an A plus. However, in credit world, it's very poor. It's a D, banking on an F. You're failing in that area.
And we're saying 1 day late could drop you into the next category
30,
of credit.
30 days late. 30 days late.
Well, right. I'm sorry, but
Yes.
okay. So
Yes.
it's
One
due
30
on
day
the
late.
first, and then you pay the first of the following month. You're
Boom.
late. What if you
Correct.
pay? What if you pay within the first 30 days? Is there any derogatory?
Not derogatory on your credit report, but you're going to pay late fees with that creditor.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Hmm. Yep.
Wow.
So when you
Okay.
talk about utilization, it's the same way. If you owe more, the reason why Google tells you 30% is because 30% ranks you as fair in that category. So 1 to 9% ranks you as excellent, 10 to 19, good, 20 to 29. I'm sorry, 1 to 9% is excellent, 10 to 19% is good, 20 to 25% is fair, 26 to 30% is I'm sorry, that's fair. So it ranks you fair at that 30% mark. That's why when you Google it, it'll tell you if you owe more under 30% of the total limit, you're good, but you're not. It's
So
still having a derogatory effect on your score.
if you were to max out what you were able to put on a credit card, how would that affect your score?
It's going to kill you.
Kill you.
It's
Okay.
going to kill you. That's 30%. So here's the other thing. If you pay your bills on time 100% of the time, but you're maxed out over on your credit cards, paying your bills is 35% of your score. Utilization is 30. You're canceling out 30% of your score. So on time payments, yes, you're getting 5%, but you're killing the other 30% because you're over the limits.
Wow. So would you, in
Yep.
that scenario, would you recommend obviously pay down your debt and then maybe potentially even increase your limit if it's possible?
Oh, 100%. Always.
Okay.
When they send you an invitation to increase your limit, you
Do it.
never turn down increasing your capacity. You always keep your credit cards open. Put them on a revolving cycle. So you use them because guess what else doesn't help you? Keeping your credit cards at 0%
Okay. Talk to us about that.
utilization. That doesn't help you. Between 1 and 9% is excellent in that category. Not 0 and 9%, 1 and 9%. That means you have to have some utilization. That's the name of the category. So if you have the cards and you don't utilize them, it's not helping you.
Okay. So if I use the card, but then I pay it off to 0, is that still, I'm still utilizing it, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
They don't want to
But
see
if you
me
got
about.
unutilized,
Oh no. We'll get her back on. You're back.
Jesse, are you back? Okay, I'm like, I lost you.
You're back. No, you're okay. You're okay. You're back.
Yep, we're good. Okay.
Awesome. This, I mean, you are just like,
So
this is
yeah, you
so
want to
much
make sure you're
information.
utilizing those cards.
Okay. I love it. So we talked about FICO. We talked about Credit Karma. Where do you recommend is the best place for someone to check their credit?
myfico.com.
myfico.com. And why is that?
Yeah. because that's the scoring model that most of the lenders are going to use. And so you want to know your numbers. I have diabetes. When I go to the doctor, they're like, "What are your numbers?" I have to give a report of what my numbers are. When you go to a lender, they're going to be looking at your numbers. But the best time for you to go to a lender and have them look at your numbers is after you've already looked at your numbers and you know what they are.
Right. So yeah, you
So
know
my
mandatory scoring.
FICO is it's the scoring model
Okay.
of choice. And so there is no, you can't go and they say, "Well, oh, I pulled your FICO score, your FICO 8 and it was 680." And you say, "No, I pulled my FICO 8 and it was 720." No, if they pulled a 680, you pulled a 680 because it's the same exact scoring model. So there's no discrepancies.
Okay. So most of the major lenders are using myfico.com.
No, they're pulling your FICO score from whatever system that they have, whatever
Got it.
software that they have.
Okay, but it's going to pull the same information.
Correct.
Okay. Is there any cost for
Now,
that?
watch this, Jesse.
Yeah, I'm
It's
ready.
going to pay the same, it's going to say the same information if it's the same model. So you have 10 FICO models. You have FICO 1 through 10.
Oh gosh.
Typically, when you're purchasing a house, they use FICO 4, 4 or 5 and 6. When you're purchasing a vehicle, they may use FICO 2, FICO 8. They may pull a different version of the score. So you have to know what version you're pulling and what version that lender is pulling to make sure that your numbers match up. So here's what you do. You call the car dealership and you say, "Hey," say for instance, you're calling Honda. You call in Honda, you say, "Hey Honda, I want to come in and I want to look at a car. What scoring model are you pulling?" And they may say, "Oh, we pull a FICO 6." Then you say, "Okay," then you go and pull your own FICO 6 and you say, "Okay, well, I'm a 800 in my FICO 6." You don't have a problem. You go to Honda, you say, "Take me to the new cars. I'm not putting no money down. I know what my credit score is." You run my credit, boom, I'm out of there in 25 minutes. That's how you do that.
So I just had to buy 2 cars and I did not do
Mhm.
this. And I'm sure if you come in asking these questions, they're going to know that they can't mess around with you. You know, you're
Bingo.
educated.
Bingo.
Yeah. I
Bingo.
don't want to look
Because
back at
I
mine.
walked into I bought a Benz 2 years ago. I have a Honda and a Benz. I did it with the Honda, but I walked into the Mercedes Benz dealership and I said, "Listen, I'm not paying over 4%. I said, I'm not putting no money down. And I went in there in 2021. I said, I want a 2020 or better. That's it. And I need an SUV. And if you can't meet it or beat it, I don't want to, we don't have nothing to talk about." They sit down and ran my numbers. They got me at 3.99%. I said, "All right, you beat the 4%. 2 months later, because they went through a bank, they didn't go through Mercedes Finance, they went through a bank. They said, "We owe you. We should be charging you three and a quarter, actually 3.24." So they
What?
had to reduce my interest rate again on my vehicle because of my score. I had already checked it before I went in there. I knew exactly what it was. And so I was like, "I don't want to talk about nothing else. This is what I want. Bring me this. If you can't meet it, we don't have anything to talk about."
At what point? So if I check my score, at
Mhm.
what point do I have this same bargaining power? Like, what does my score need to be to walk in there all sassy and get what I want?
Minimum 740.
I
If
mean,
you're gonna be sassy, 760. You're gonna be sassy, 760 at least. But yeah.
okay. Do you think that the same concept would apply with a high credit score and a bank lender, like for a mortgage?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
100% because the credit gives you confidence. And when you know your numbers and you know what they accept and what they're looking for, they can't get over on you. My mortgage, the reason why I won't move from my house right now in this economic climate, my mortgage is 3.25%.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that would be
Yeah.
crazy.
So I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. I know the feds are slated to drop the rates 3 times this year. They're not going to drop them as low as 3.25%.
No, 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 no. You're
So
locked for a
I'm,
while.
yeah. So I'm not interested.
Turn
The
it into
next
a
house I
rental.
do,
Keep it
yeah.
as a
So
rental.
correct that, and that's what it'll be if I
Yeah.
decide. Or I'm going to build a mini house in the backyard. I tore my shed down.
Yes.
I'm going to build a mini house in the backyard and have that income coming in. But there is a plan
I love it. I love it. So we
for
talked
sure.
briefly about this. So we're calling good credit 760 or higher. And is there a
Excellent.
benefit? is okay. That's excellent. So
Mhm.
if you're in that range, is there a benefit to working on your credit repair?
Well, it, it just depends on who you are. Like I say, I've had people come to me with 769 credit scores, 780 credit scores. They have a personal mission to get to that 800, 850 credit score mark. I was at 849 at one time. Um, but I chose to
Plus,
leverage my credit to do some additions to my house and build the equity there because I plan to deed my house over to my son when he's 16. He's 2 right now.
oh,
So I wanted him to have a cash asset, when he gets that age because I'm gonna pay this bad boy off. See that? I'm gonna pay this bad boy off. Um, so again, it could be a personal mission, and then it all depends on the lender as well. So
okay,
because some lenders have a tiered interest rate policy, right? So if your interest rate is 850 to 800, you may get the very lowest interest rate they offer. If your interest rate is 799 to 760, then you'll get the next interest
right,
rate
right,
that
right.
they offer. So because of that, again, it just depends on the lender and what your goals are.
Are they not all not like that? I thought that was the whole concept. Is like the better your score, the better your rate. Or
Most of them are,
okay,
yes.
okay,
They have ranges, but some of them again may go from 760 to 850. And then if you're at 770, you don't need to maybe aspire to get a higher credit score because you're already in range.
right. So
Yeah.
if you are under the excellent mark, what steps do you recommend? You say only we can do it. What
Mhm.
steps do you recommend to actually work on your credit repair?
Well, Jesse, I can't tell you my secrets, honey. That's what people pay me for. But again, credit repair is two sides, right? And it's a lot to that. I mean, you could write a letter and say, hey, this is not my debt, remove it. I don't recognize this debt, remove it. But the differentiator is I go to the law library. So I actually
Mm,
study the credit laws and I cite case law when I'm challenging debts for people. And so does everything get removed? No. Should everything be removed as derogatory? No. Old bad
interesting.
credit is good for your score. Absolutely. And
Because it
so
gives
when I
you
do my
the history.
analysis, I look at what that is. It gives you history. It's 15% of your score.
Yeah.
When I do my analysis, I'm looking at what's on your score, how long it's been there, or your report, how long it's been there, what's not on there that should be on there. So it's not a one or the other, it's a both and most of these credit repair companies have suggested or made people believe that getting derogatory items removed is credit repair, and it's not.
Interesting.
It's
So
not.
this almost sounds more like an art than a science.
It's definitely an art. It's definitely an
Yeah.
art. It's a bit of both, but
Okay.
it's more art than science for sure.
Okay. Well, I know we have a hard stop. You have pulled some time away from a very busy day for us. So I appreciate it. I have one more question and then I'm going to open it
So,
up to maybe 1 to 2 from the audience. We will
sure.
get you out of here right at 2:30. Um, my last question, and you guys, if you're watching live and you have questions, go ahead and throw them in now, and we'll get a couple of those answered for you. But my last question is, what is the role of personal credit versus this elusive business credit that we always hear about?
Business credit is fake. Tell all your friends I said it. Um, there's two types of credit. There's personal credit and corporate credit. And so you get corporate credit when you are able to let me go this way. Anytime you have to personally guarantee a debt, either on the front end or the back end of it, it's not business credit. What that means is this. If they have to pull your personal credit to give you an Amex card for your business, it's not business credit. If they say, well, we don't pull your credit, we do a soft pull and we will give you this business loan or this business line of credit, but you still have to submit your social security number to them because if you don't make the payment, it
They're
becomes a
coming.
derogatory trade line on your personal credit report. That is business credit. I mean, that is personal credit. So
Okay.
anytime you have to personally guarantee again on the front or back end, that's what it is. Corporate credit
Personal.
is when you generate enough revenue consistently. Most financial institutions want to see $3 million a year for 3 years. Then that's when you get corporate credit when you don't have to personally guarantee your
So we're
business
talking
loan or
major
business line of credit.
corporations, not
Oh,
someone with a
100%.
little rental portfolio here and there.
Correct. And when
Okay.
you're talking about like net 30s and net 60s with you line, no real lender cares about you paying a net 30 account. They're not even checking for that when they're looking to give you any type of credit, whether it's this elusive business credit or corporate credit. They're not looking to see how fast you pay back your net 30s and net 60s and all of this thing that these social media influencers, all that crap
Yes.
that they tell you. And another thing about that, let me pause right there. I know that was your last question, Jesse, but let me say this. If you want a individual credit restoration person to fix your credit and they're not willing to show you their credit reports or their credit scores as they currently are, you should run real fast, because all they're doing is regurgitating some Google information that they read or some crazy stuff that they heard on the internet or for somebody else that's professing to be a credit education specialist as well. Don't listen to those people. For 12 consecutive months, I shared my credit score on social media at the first of every single month as soon as my score is updated. When I started in this business 13 years ago, my credit score was 517. My credit score has been as 849. I am currently leveraging my credit. Thank you very much. Leveraging my credit to do some upgrades to my house, like I said, so that I can leave my son this asset when he turns 16 and me and his daddy can move somewhere smaller
I
and
love
less
it.
expensive and give him
And
money.
less cold.
Um, and less cold, 100%. But there's a plan in place, but you got to have somebody that's going to be transparent with you, because credit is very intimate. And like I tell people, when I'm doing their budgeting or when we're going over their finances or their credit portfolio, whatever they're doing, I say, listen, this is very intimate. If you have a mate, a spouse, a jump off, or whoever you get intimate with, you take all your clothes off, including your t-shirt and your socks. When you talk to me about your finances, you as well have to get butt naked. You got to take it all
They
off
better
and you
be
got
in
to
the
show me the
room.
real raw you. Exactly. Because unless you do that, I cannot assist.
Okay. I love it. Yeah, this is my mind is blown. There's so much here that as a longtime investor, didn't know a lot of this. So, I mean, this is amazing. Let me open up to a couple of questions from the audience. So Lizzie asked, how soon after a derogatory remark can you start making a repair
Oh,
or
the next
restoration?
day. There's no law that says anything. First of all, credit reports are illegal by law, but we don't have enough time to dig into that. But there's no time limit. Like as soon as you see it or before you see it. Some people are checking their scores or checking their reports before they get like a physical copy of a report. But as soon as you know, you can jump on it.
Okay. And how long from the time you start the dispute would you actually see your score improve?
Well, it depends. They have 30 days to reply, 30 to 45 days to reply or respond. And here's the
Okay.
thing. If you say, for instance, you got a late pay and it took 60 points away from your score, the max you can get if they do update that or remove it, the max number of points you can get back is going to be 40% of those points. You'll never get the 100%
That's
back,
insane.
not
Not
from the
right.
dispute.
So how
It's a
would
game.
you Yeah, so that's the benefit. I mean, 31 days and you're down 60 points and you're not seeing that back, even if you fight
Bingo.
it. So
Not the full. Now,
huge.
what you will over time is and consistency in behaviors, you will get those points back and more. However, on that initial dispute, again, if it's removed or updated, you will not get the full number of points back. Mm-mm.
Wow. Wow.
They don't play that.
They don't play that. So one other
Hmm.
question we have is, did I hear correctly that we should increase limits as high as possible across accounts while utilizing the 1 to 9%?
If possible, yes. Now, here's the thing. If they say if they say you got $1,000 limit, we're going to give you, or they say you got a $500 limit, we're going to give you $1,000 limit. That don't mean you go crazy, because the limit, you still keep the right behaviors and you still follow the right model. So 9% of $500, I want to say, is $27. 9% of $1,000 is $90. So you still want to be in ratio to
Yes.
whatever the limit on your credit cards are. Yes.
But maybe if you're already spending 90 and you increase your limit, that now brings you into the excellent utilization.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Okay.
Yep.
I love it. Well, I'm going to let you get out of here on time. Where
Okay.
the comments are blowing up. Everyone is just finding so much value here. This is amazing. Where can people find you after this?
Yes. If they text me 614
Okay, we'll put it
8
in the comments. Lizzie, can you
yes,
add this in the comments?
614-843-3577. What's the name of your show, Jesse?
Unlocked.
Unlocked. So 614-843-3577. Put today's date in unlocked and then let me know what your questions are if you want to set up a consultation. Now I do charge for consultations. And then I also charge for the service as well. So
Okay.
let me know in the comments what you're looking for and then we can proceed from there.
Awesome. This has been a referral from Perry, who has been on our show. His financial advisor that drops just an equal amount of knowledge. The two of you together are an absolute powerhouse. So I thank him so much for the introduction. The audience knows how to get a hold of you, and we will let
Yes.
you on your day.
That's my brother. Thank you so much again, Jesse, my little
Yes.
sister, Lissy, my new sister. So any way that I can be of assistance in the future, please let me know.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you
All
so
right.
much. Yeah,
You're
and you guys,
welcome. You guys take care.
please reach out to her. She wants to help you. Cool.
Definitely. All right,
See
dear.
ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.